Ladies and gentlemen, we are excited to share the latest Salesforce innovations with you, which means we may talk about future-looking products and services. Because future-looking statements are inherently subject to risk and uncertainty, our reminder is that you should make any purchasing or investment decisions based on products that are currently commercially available.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out to Dreamforce, and thank you for joining us this afternoon to talk about Lightning Dashboard best practices. Today, we're going to talk about how you and your team can use Lightning Dashboards to make data-driven decisions and to achieve goals in your business.
But first, a quick show of hands. Does anybody here create dashboards?
Good, good. Does anyone create Lightning Dashboards? All right. Well, then you're in the right place. This session is for you. But let me take one moment just to introduce ourselves. This is Daniel Glagowski, Product Manager Extraordinaire with the Lightning Dashboards team.
And this is Daniel Heinrich, our beloved technical writer.
And together we are the Daniels. Well, like I said, today we're going to talk about using Lightning Dashboards with your team to make data-driven decisions. And in doing so, let's consider the story of Maria. Maria is a new sales manager. She's got a new sales team, and they've got questions. How are we going to track pipeline? How are we going to stay on top of key metrics? And how are we going to use data to close more deals? Well, there's three things Maria and her team can do to achieve these goals. They can build a dashboard to track key metrics, publish the dashboard out in Salesforce right where the team is working to stay informed, and they can close more deals by, when they have an insight from dashboard data, collaborating with one another over the insight and closing the deal. And we just want to remind you, working with data is an iterative process. You get data, you share it, you act on it, the business moves a little bit forward, you get data again, and the process repeats. There's one best practice we'd like to start the session with, which is asking questions. Before Maria actually builds a dashboard, she should stop and ask some key questions. Now, there's many questions you could ask here. Some of them might be particular to your business, but in general, we like to recommend people ask these three key questions. Who is your audience, and what do they want to achieve? For Maria and her team, the audience is themselves. They need a team dashboard to track their own pipeline. And what do they want to achieve? They want to push opportunities through that pipeline and close them. So the information, the data that Maria gets to put on the dashboard is informed by these questions. Last but not least, scope and security. Whenever you work with data, it's really important to consider questions like, who should be able to find this dashboard? Who should be able to view it? Who should be able to edit it? Who should be able to share it? We have some best practices relating to scope and security sprinkled throughout our session here today that we hope will be helpful in those areas. So having considered these questions, Maria is ready to build a dashboard. And Maria actually goes ahead and builds a dashboard, and it looks like this. Now, we like Maria's dashboard a lot. Maria's done a couple of good things in designing this dashboard. Whenever we talk about dashboard design, we like to give an analogy. A really good dashboard is like a newspaper article on the front page of a newspaper. What does a newspaper article have? It has a headline, a picture, and a story. And a really good dashboard does as well. The headline on Maria's dashboard, we can see right at the top on this first row, a collection of KPIs and important metrics that Maria and her team will want to know the answer to as soon as they look at the dashboard. Like a newspaper headline, it kind of tells you what's happened really quickly at a glance. For Maria and her team, they'll want to know what is the value of won opportunities, how many opportunities are in our pipeline for us to close, and how close are we to making quota. They can get that just with a glance at the first line of this dashboard. A newspaper article has a picture that kind of shows what's happened, and Maria's dashboard has this on the second row. There's two charts that provide a visual overview of what's going on. The funnel chart shows what is the state of the pipeline right now, and the opportunities by rep vertical bar chart shows the sum of amount grouped by opportunity owner and lead source. And Maria and her team can use that to help push opportunities through the pipeline. Finally, a newspaper article has a story that gives all of the details you need to know, the who, what, why, when, where. On Maria's dashboard, there is a table that shows opportunity level, record level details about the information summarized above. So if they have a question about something they see in a chart or one of the metrics, they can scroll down and see the opportunities right there. Now, this dashboard is really good as it is. It's already telling Maria and her team a lot of the information they need to run their business. But Daniel, is there anything that Maria can do to make this dashboard even better?
As a matter of fact, there is, Daniel. Thank you so much for the question. As we said earlier, building a dashboard is an iterative process. You build your dashboard, you deploy it, you learn stuff from it, and then you build and add more stuff to it. Maria wants to add 2 additional charts to the dashboard. She wants to unveil seasonal change within her business. So she wants to build closed-won opportunities reports showing deals month by month, showing sum of amount and also average amount. She also wants to create a leaderboard to entice some healthy competition within her team on that Monday morning meeting. She's going to use Lightning dashboard tables for that. Let's jump into a demo. But right before jumping into a demo, if you've noticed, we're trying to create 2 components, but we're going to use one report. It's going to be an opportunity report. It's going to be closed-won opportunity. And also, we're going to filter the report down to the same scope. Quickly, again, before building the report, I want to mention and remind you again on scope and security. The way that we share reports and dashboards, or the way we control visibility for reports and dashboards at Salesforce, is using report and dashboard folders. Maria goes ahead and she created the SMB folder for her team. And we're going to look at the shares on this folder right here. So by default, because Maria created this folder, she has manage access for this folder. She can pretty much do anything she wants with this folder. The Sales SMB public group has view access, and that allows the team to view the reports within that folder. And as a reminder, role-level security is taken care of. This is only controlling the visibility of the report. What data is shown on the report is determined by the security and all the sharing rules that you've created in your organization. She can also give them edit access, which will allow them to edit the report if they have the right permissions, and also manage access to allow specific users or groups or roles to further share the folder. All right, so I think we're good here. And I'm going to go into the Lightning Report Builder. First, I have to select the report type. And I'm going to select the Opportunities report type. And this is the Lightning Report Builder, which I hope everybody's using and loving. And I want to give you 3 tips for creating reports which will be exposed later on a dashboard. You want to consider 3 things: filters, groupings, and aggregates. Let's go into the filter panel. And as Maria, I want to set a close date filter to show my current fiscal year closed-won opportunities. So I'm going to set the current fiscal year. And then I'm going to add an additional filter for closed-won opportunities equals true. And here I've set the scope of my report. As a reminder, when you set the filters on your report, you control the visibility or the scope of the data which will be exposed on a dashboard. You'll never see more data on the dashboard. You only see as much or less. So be mindful of the filters that you're creating on your reports. Another quick tip for you for running your dashboards faster. If you want to run your dashboards or refresh your dashboards in a faster way, be mindful of the filters you apply on your report. You want to avoid filters like contain or does not equal to, or even starts with. Those are filters which will make the report run more slowly. Here's an example. If I add a region filter, and I want to exclude East from my report, I can either do does not equal East, which will make the report run slower. Instead, I want to use equals all and exclude East from my report filters. All right? Great. I'm not going to apply this filter right now. And I mentioned filters. The second one was groupings. For this report, I want to see my closed won opportunities by close date. So I'm going to add a close date. And I also want to show this by closed month. So I'm going to further group this by calendar month. That's awesome. And as a reminder, the groupings that I create on my report will be exposed on my chart configurations on the dashboard. So make sure everything is set up correctly on the report. The third thing that I want to show to you is aggregates. And Maria is going to add sum and average, because those are the aggregates that she wants on her report. And again, those are the aggregates which will be exposed on the dashboard. Let's quickly visualize this report by adding a chart. I'm going to go into the chart configurations, change to a vertical bar chart, which will show the dates going left to right, which is the intuitive way of showing dates, usually. I'm going to also add another measure, average amount. I'm going to plot it as a line chart and plot it on a second axis to make it visualize better. Maria is super happy with this report. She wants to save it, so she's going to save an Optis report into the folder she created ahead of time. She selects the folder, she saves it, and she runs the report. Maria is so happy with this report. She's actually infatuated with this with the report chart. She wants it on her dashboard. Now, normally, what Maria had to do was to go into the Dashboards tab, look for the dashboard, click on Add Dashboard, click Add Component, search for that report, select that report, configure that chart all over again. That's a lot of work, right? Well, today, Maria can go into the Action menu and click on Add to Dashboard to add this chart straight on the dashboard. She can select an existing dashboard or even a new one. She decides to add it to an existing dashboard, and once she's there, she has the Use Chart settings from the report, where she just can add this chart into the dashboard, and using the flexible grid layout of the dashboard, she can reposition her dashboard component wherever she wants. She saves, and she refreshes to get the most up-to-date data. And there you go. We have a chart that we created in the report right on the dashboard. All right, Maria is super happy. She wants to add the second component, and let's do it the more standard way by adding a component. I'm going to use the same report that I've created before, which is on the top because that's the most recently used report. I'm going to select Lightning Dashboard Tables. And as a reminder, Lightning Dashboard Tables is a Lightning-only feature. It allows you to add up to 10 columns on a dashboard table without to do any setup on the report. You can create a table right there, selecting any field from the report type. And now you can also add a grouping to this report. So I'm going to add an opportunity owner because, as a reminder, I want to add a leaderboard table. So I'm going to add an opportunity owner, also add amount, sum of amount, and average. Of course, I want to have my top performers at the top. So I'm going to select the sort column to be sum of amount and descending. Maria wants to make this a personalized dashboard so Cindy Central can see her face on the table when she gets into that Monday morning meeting, and add conditional highlighting so we really highlight the top performers and get to see who's doing well versus, oh, I have to select, of course, sum of amount first. Perfect. All right, adding this table into my dashboard, again, using the flexible grid layout. I can position my dashboard components anywhere, pretty much anywhere I want. All right, one more change that Maria wants to do. She looks at the won opportunities amount metric component, and 4 million is not very precise. She wants to do some changes so she maybe can see some more granularity into this. She changes the decimal places to 2, and she reveals $40,000 of closed won opportunities. And if you notice, the average opportunity amount is 40,000. So she basically, she lost a whole opportunity in there. She's super happy again. She saves the dashboard, and she runs it. Yes, Daniel?
Daniel, this dashboard's really useful. It shows Maria and her team information about all of their opportunities. But what if Maria and her team are only interested in new business opportunities?
In that case, she can add a dashboard filter. We can add a dashboard filter. We can add up to 3 filters on our dashboard. Adding a type, I can add a filter option for new business, filter option for add-on business. And in Winter 19, by the way, we've increased the amount or the number of filter options from 10 to 50. So by default, everybody gets 50 filter options in Winter 19. All right. Maria, before she goes into her meeting, she really wants to make this table pop out. So she can now use dashboard themes to make this dashboard have a dark theme on it. And she can also configure this component to show a light theme. So this table, specific tables, really pops out when she presents it to her team. She goes into her Monday morning meeting. She's very excited. She's ready to show this dashboard again to the team. But the team, they seem not very engaged. They seem like they're seeing this dashboard for the first time. Daniel, do you know of any way Maria can maybe push this dashboard to the team rather than have them pull it in?
Why, in fact, I do, Daniel. And thank you for helping Maria take this dashboard to the next level. Like Daniel was saying, Maria shows her team the dashboard, and it seems like they're seeing the data for the first time, and she wonders, how can I get my team to start working with this dashboard? If you have all of the data in your dashboard and no one looks at the data, does it do you or your team any good? No. So the right thing to do is to encourage the team to see the data, to work with the data, to use it. But if Maria's team is not going to the dashboard, perhaps she can bring the dashboard to her team. Let's see how it's done. So Maria is a sales manager, but she's also a Salesforce administrator.
Any other also admins in the crowd?
Yeah, go also admins. So as an administrator, Maria has access to the Lightning App Builder. The Lightning App Builder lets Maria customize the layout and content of any page in Lightning apps, like the sales app that we're currently in. Maria thinks, if I embed this sales dashboard right on the home tab of the sales app, then the sales team will see it, and they'll be able to use the data in their day-to-day operations as soon as they log into Salesforce. In order to embed this dashboard on the home tab, Maria will just open Setup. And from Setup, she can open the Lightning App Builder. The Quick Find box is the fastest way to find it. We search for the Lightning App Builder, and here it is. Maria will edit the default home tab layout by finding it and clicking Edit. And from here, adding a dashboard takes only a moment. Maria finds the dashboard in the Lightning Components sidebar, and then all she has to do is drag it into place. Let's add it to the very top of the page layout. Now we can see the dashboard is right there on the home tab layout in preview. If Maria wanted to add a different dashboard, she could choose one from the dashboard drop-down menu, but we do want the sales dashboard in there, so we'll leave it in. Scrolling through to see how it looks, Maria sees that some of these components have gotten pushed a little far down the page because the sales dashboard is so chock full of useful information. And she doesn't want to make her sales team scroll all the way down here to access these other home tab components. So Maria will set a maximum height, let's say 1,000 pixels, and that makes the dashboard a little more manageable on the page. Now, the dashboard is not cut off here. Maria and her team will be able to scroll through the dashboard as though it were a window inside of a window on the Home tab as they work with it. Maria's really happy with this layout, so let's publish it. First, we'll save. And this is important. Don't forget to activate the new layout. We click activation. And from here, Maria has a couple options. She can set this as the default homepage for everyone in Salesforce, or she can choose only some profiles for it to appear. If Maria doesn't want this dashboard to appear for, say, the customer service team, because it's a sales dashboard, she can choose only the sales profile, and the dashboard will show up only for users with the sales profile. But because this is the sales app, let's go ahead and publish it as the default homepage layout.
Now, Daniel, can users actually choose the dashboard they want to see on the homepage?
You know, Daniel, today that's actually not possible.
But it is coming. It's coming actually in 2 releases from now. We're going to allow users to customize their own dashboards right there on the homepage. And as a workaround until then, you can use Salesforce Labs component called Dashboards PAL, P-A-L, which is out there today, so you can download it and use it today.
That's really useful to know, Daniel. Thank you. I will find the Dashboard PAL on the Salesforce Lab Exchange, and I'll pay attention closely to the release notes to see when it is a fully supported feature.
All right.
So clicking to activate, we see activation is successful. So when we pop back over to Salesforce and visit the Home tab, we see the sales dashboard right there. Now, this isn't an image of a dashboard. This dashboard is fully interactive. Maria and her team, as I said, can scroll through to get more information. They can hover over a chart segment to get more details about what is shown on the chart. If they only want to see new business, they can select type equals new business from the filter. And if they want to see the dashboard in all its glory, they can just click open right there. And there's the dashboard. Now, Maria's very happy with this, but what if her team is not on the Home tab? What if they're viewing an account or updating an opportunity, and they need to refer back to this dashboard to get information about the pipeline? What Maria can do, and this is not an org-wide change. This only applies to the user who does it. So what Maria is going to do is encourage her team in their weekly meeting to do this. While viewing the dashboard, the team can select more actions from the dashboard menu and then click Open the Sales Dashboard in a new tab. And we can see the Sales Dashboard has appeared up here as its own tab in Salesforce. Now, you might notice a blue asterisk next to that. That indicates that when the user logs out of Salesforce and logs back in, the tab will disappear. It's only there temporarily. But if Maria and her team want to anchor it there so that they can access it over and over and over and over again, all they have to do is select more actions from this tab, select Add Again, and there it is. Now, if they do want to get rid of this again later, they can remove it from this pencil edit navbar icon, but we'll keep it there for now because we like this dashboard a lot.
But what if her team is not in the app and they want it anyways?
That's a really good question, Daniel. If Maria's team is not logged into Salesforce, say they're coming back into the office from a restful weekend, Maria wants to ensure that her team is starting the week with a refreshed, up-to-date picture of their sales pipeline. What Maria can do is subscribe her team to the dashboard. Now, when Maria subscribes to the dashboard, by clicking the subscribe button in the top right, she will set a schedule. The dashboard will automatically refresh on the schedule she sets here, and after it refreshes, Salesforce will email the dashboard with its refreshed data to whatever recipients Maria specifies. Let's choose Monday at 8 a.m. Now we'll select recipients, and as recipients, Maria can choose either Salesforce users or public groups. Let's add Maria's team, the sales SMB team. Click Add, and save the subscription. Now, when Maria's team comes in on Monday, they'll start the week with a fully up-to-date picture of their opportunity pipeline. And if one of Maria's teammates happens to check their email on the train into the office, then they might see something that looks like this. Dashboard subscription emails look great on mobile devices. So Maria's super happy now. The team has the data they need. They're reading the data they need. They're working with it. So what happens when someone has an insight? What happens when someone is ready to take an action to close an opportunity? Well, from a Lightning dashboard, it's very easy to collaborate with your teammates because collaboration tools are baked right into the dashboard. Let's see how it's done. Say Maria comes in on Monday and checks the sales dashboard to see how the team is doing. She sees we're closing a lot of opportunities. We're pretty close to making quota. The opportunity pipeline looks good. Opportunities look good. And over here on the leaderboard, she sees that some of her teammates are doing exceptionally well. This is a good time to give some kudos. Maria can congratulate her team by expanding the component and posting a snapshot of it to Chatter. Now, this is a fully functional Chatter feed, so Maria can mention people and start a conversation if she needs to. And when Maria makes this Chatter post, it doesn't go off somewhere mysterious in Salesforce. It's right here on the dashboard. By scrolling on back to the summary bar, Maria can click this conversation bubble icon to open a dashboard feed right here on the dashboard. This feed makes it easy for Maria and her team to collaborate, to ask questions, to assign tasks as they need to. And because it's a Chatter feed, collaboration is almost automatic. Almost. Maria continues to read the dashboard. She looks at this vertical bar chart, and she likes what she sees. Again, we're seeing good data here, but she does notice one thing. It looks like someone forgot to specify lead source on some of their opportunities. To find out who, Maria can click this lead source is empty or null in the legend, and she will drill into the source report, providing data for this chart. When she does so, the report opens up, and it has a linked filter, which has been sent to it from the dashboard. And we can see it's filtered on lead source equals empty, null, nada. And what we see in the source report is all of the opportunities without lead sources. It looks like Adam User, this troublemaker CEO, closed some opportunities but did not specify a lead source. By clicking the speech icon bubble, Maria can open a Chatter feed, also available on all reports, and she can ask Adam User to please add a lead source to this opportunity. In this way, we've seen how Maria and her team can get the data they need to process their opportunity pipeline, share it, stay informed, and collaborate with one another over the data. Daniel, could you give us a quick summary?
For sure. All right. So Maria is a new sales manager. She needs to build a dashboard for her team to keep them informed, and to make data-driven decisions. She goes ahead and asks 3 questions. Who's my audience? What are they trying to achieve? And what do I need to do to make sure they have the right visibility to the right reports and dashboards? When building a report and exposing it on a dashboard, be mindful of 3 things: filters, groupings, and aggregates. And last, grant access. Make sure, again, using folder sharing, that you're granting access to the right people at the right time. She needs to push the dashboards to her team, to make sure that they engage with it. She can embed a dashboard using the app builder, and she also can encourage her team to have a dashboard in her navbar for quicker access. And she can use subscribe to dashboards to get their dashboard refreshed on Monday morning to her team in their inbox. By the way, the public groups and role features that you've seen as a recipient, that's in pilot in Winter 19, and I'm going to share my contact information at the end so you can reach out to me and get yourself added to the pilot. Maria acts on the dashboard. She uses Chatter to collaborate with her team, to ask questions, to assign tasks, to give kudos. She drills down into the source report to get a detailed view of her data. And she also uses dashboard filters to slice and dice her data and to see the information she really needs.
And with that, we'd like to open the floor for questions. And while we're taking questions, we just want to show this other slide featuring related sessions at Dreamforce, learn more about reports, learn more about working with folders and subfolders. And if you haven't attended the roadmap yesterday, it's a killer roadmap. Be sure to attend it this Friday. You can also learn more about working with Lightning dashboards by joining us on Trailhead.
Thank you so much.
Are there any questions?
Questions?
Yes, miss.
I'll repeat the question. So the question was, is the only person who can subscribe others to a dashboard is the dashboard creator? And the answer is no. Everyone who has access to the dashboard can subscribe either to themselves, if it's in a private folder, or to other people if it's in a shared folder.
And administrators can control who has permission to subscribe to dashboards using user permissions. Named subscribe to dashboards. And we will continue to take questions from the mics.
Thank you. It would be great for those individuals to see their own personal number of closed leads, et cetera. What's the best way to personalize a dashboard?
That's a great question. So we did not mention dynamic dashboards in this session, but dynamics dashboards would be the way to go. So dynamic dashboards controls the running user of a dashboard. So each dashboard has a running user, okay, by which that user runs the reports to expose the data on the dashboard. And you can set your dashboards to be a dynamic dashboard. So the person who logs into the app and look at the dashboard actually runs the dashboards as themselves. All right? So that would personalize the dashboard based on the person viewing the dashboard at the moment.
And you would make a dashboard dynamic by editing the dashboard, opening the dashboard properties, and selecting View Dashboard as the dashboard viewer, I believe the setting is. You can also specify someone specific in Salesforce other than yourself. The default is whomever builds the dashboard. And there's a further option that would let dashboard viewers change who they view the dashboard as with some for more information, there's a help topic about dynamic dashboards that gets into the details quite thoroughly.
All right. Question
yes, sir.
Yes, is there a way to increase the subscriptions to more than 5? That's what I found. There's a limit on subscriptions per user.
So that's a great question. And so the question, for those who've not heard, like, is there a way to increase the number of dashboard subscriptions per user? So right now, each user in the org gets up to 5 dashboards and 5 reports that they can subscribe. We're actually looking into that. The team is working hard right now to scale the product and to make sure everything scales properly. And then we'll address more subscriptions in the future. We hope to get there in the next few releases.
I have 2 questions. One is you talked about scheduling or subscribing. Thank you. But I'm wondering if scheduling more often than just like scheduling runs, not necessarily email notifications, if that is available to dashboards in Lightning. And then my second question is the workaround for people choosing dashboards on their own homepage is if we as admins can say, like, here are 5 dashboards on the homepage, but only these, like, this team can see this dashboard, this team can see this dashboard.
Okay. So I'm not sure about the first question. Like, if you ask,
there's a feature in Salesforce Classic about scheduling dashboards. If I may ask a question of clarification, do you mean when a dashboard refreshes and runs in Salesforce, instead of emailing it to recipients, say posting it to Chatter, and then perhaps also only refreshing and sending if certain conditions have been met.
Reports, you can schedule automatic runs.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if in Lightning you can do that with dashboards.
So that's on the roadmap. So basically subscribing to the dashboard without actually sending it to anyone. Yeah, so that's on the roadmap.
And we have a lot more details about the future features in that area in our roadmap session. So I want to encourage you to attend that this Friday.
And the second question was around the best practice, the dashboard pal. So users will have access to the dashboards that they have access to. You can actually not control right now which dashboards they are exposed to. It's just the ones that they have access to will show up on that list. Okay? But it's a good feedback, and we'll incorporate it into our designs for whenever we come out with that feature. I don't know if I answered your question.
Hi. So this is more of a report question probably, but there's several or a few key features that have not been migrated to Lightning yet from Classic.
You have the PM right here.
Okay. And just wondering on the timing of those and when that's going to happen.
So we're working in the next couple releases. We hope to close all the gaps on the new Lightning Report Builder.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I've got a question about the conditional formatting that
Yep.
you used in one of the, I think it was the table component. I'm just wondering if it's available in some of the bar chart options or sidebar options, or is it only the table?
So you can actually set Picklist colors through setup. So if you go to setup to your object manager, okay, and you have field settings, you can select specific Picklist colors. You can assign static Picklist colors that will show up whenever that value is, present on a chart. So there's no conditional formatting per se. It's more of like assigning a color per value of a Picklist.
Yeah, I was trying to, on our MPS, we score things either by -1, 0, or 1.
Yeah.
And I wanted the -1s to show up as red. So that was kind of what I was getting for. So.
That's good feedback. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, gents. 2 questions. They're pretty much the same, though. Number one, is there any plan to increase the number of available filters on the dashboard from 3? And then secondly, will you ever get to dynamically populating the list of filter values?
So the first question is whether we're going to have more than 3. So that's not on the short-term roadmap right now. And dynamic filters, we're actually gotten some feedback on the gauge chart where you can assign some. Is that what you're talking about? Or just like assigning filter options automatically based on Picklist values, etc. Yeah, that's actually on the roadmap. We're hoping to do this in the next few releases.
1 out of 2.
Thank you.
Hi. Nope. Okay, I can talk really loud anyway, so it's fine. Oh, there it is. So my main question is, first of all, thank you for making tables better in the Lightning dashboards, because they were terrible in Classic.
We have the team right here, by the way.
Yeah,
thank you, team. So much better. My question is, now that I have that table, in reports I can kind of click and drill down directly to that record. In a dashboard, if I have the table available and I have a contact or a lead or, say, an email address, would it be possible to click that contact's name and go right to their record? Is that something that is possible or would be on a roadmap moving forward?
It is possible today. So yeah, that contact name should be hyperlinked to the contact record.
Great, I totally missed that. Thanks.
Cool, thank you.
Hi there. I have a question on custom chart colors.
Yep.
When you assign it to a pick list and then you can have it show up in a chart. I noticed when you subscribe to a dashboard, those custom colors don't come through.
That's coming.
Is that going to be the next release or 2 releases?
So that's hopefully coming in spring 19.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thanks.
Yes.
We have 1 more minute, so probably last couple of questions if we make it quick.
I have community portals set up.
Yep.
So could these dashboards, could I set up dashboards for my community users and then schedule those to be emailed to them?
Yes, customer portal is actually, so in the pilot it's not included, but it will be included once the feature does send to roles and groups. When that feature becomes generally available, that's going to be an option. It's
And it doesn't matter if they're community or partner?
No.
License?
Yes.
Hey, do you have any plans to introduce faceting similar to analytics tool?
Not in the near short-term roadmap. Thank you. Last question, probably. I'm sorry. You can come.
Thank you.
We'll chat with you after.
In Classic, we were limited by the ability to display totals, only using donuts and summary tables. In Lightning, are we able to do that across bar charts and the others as well?
Totals. It should be the same. Are you trying to show a total of a chart on a bar chart, for example? I'm not.
Correct. Like if I have 10 reps and each of them has sold $1 million, if I want to display 10 million cumulatively, I can't do it.
So the quick answer is no, but you can, as a workaround, you can have a metric component right next to it. So yeah, it's pretty much like.
So it won't change in Lightning then? Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for showing up and for using our product.